solely to helping us change our conditions. Because everyone has the same real life issues. But if we're able to raise $8,000 in 24 hours and then raise everybody else's bail money in less than a month, then we can literally make change. All we need is trustworthy leaders to manage that money. We literally have everything it takes to change our situation. We're not lacking one thing. We can't say knowledge itself because there's Moors live every day pumping out great information. You can find information on Moors. You can find information on Native Americans. You can find information on Kemet. You can find information on Hindustan. You can find information on the Tartary Moors. You can find information on the Moors of Europe. You can find information on everything. Lack of knowledge itself is not our problem. If Vice, during their documentary, said 3 million Moors have petitioned the United States government to recognize them as Moors, then we do not lack knowledge of self. That's 3 million people. If 3 million people gave $1 every day for a year, how much money is that? Matter of fact, if 3 million people gave $1 once a year, that's $3 million. What's our excuse now? It can't be lack of knowledge itself, because there's 3 million Moors petitioning the United States government to recognize them. 3 million. And again, I'll keep saying it. Moors raised $8,000 in 24 hours to get one person out of jail. Someone said, that's the big issue right there. Problems with leaders and having people who want to build together for a purpose. Some of our people still living in fear. Okay, so now Moors have to choose those who are tried and true. Those who are actually tried and true. Let those be your leaders, not people that just sit back and talk. Because they're out there. And we can't say they're not out there. And let alone the $8,000 we raised in 24 hours. With the Moors Constitutional Convention, I think it was about 3 months. It took 3 months of planning, and there were over 120 Moors from all over the country who traveled to one location for one specific goal and purpose. We literally have everything it takes to save ourselves. We just need more commitment, more dedication, and checks and balances. We can't have leaders without those leaders being held accountable. But that's the responsibility of the people, of the Moors. The leaders do whatever it is that the people empower them to do. They're in charge of that one thing. But the people themselves are responsible for ensuring that that leader does that thing. I'll give you an example. With the Moorish Science Temple of America. How is it that there are 3 different temple number 1s? That doesn't even make sense. Not only that, none of those temple number 1s have ownership, possession, nothing over Prophet Noble Drew Ali's building. So how can we trust who has a real charter and who doesn't have a real charter when there's 3 temple number 1s? And why is it that none of them have our Prophet's building? The building where he's standing in front of it with all the Moors and it says convention. That building that everyone has seen pictures of. The Moors don't own that building anymore. What happened to it? And why aren't Moors holding all 3 Supreme Grand Sheikhs who claim to be Temple number 1 responsible for losing possession of that property? Because I'm pretty sure that property is worth at least $1 million. It's huge. It's amazing. It's beautiful. That can literally be a central location for all Moors to come to And Prophet Noble Drew Ali said Chicago is going to be our Mecca, which means it's not. It's going to be our Mecca. So just how every year Muslims go to Mecca to make the Hajj, well, every year we could be going to Prophet Noble Drew Ali's building. The problem is the Moorish Science Temple of America doesn't own it. When literally, if we're able to raise $8,000 in 24 hours, well, then we can buy back Prophet Noble Drew Ali's building if that's what we need to do. Make it a holy site, a place of refuge. Moors, you need help? Come here. You need refuge? Come here. We can do that. We have the ability to do that. But to get to that level, we need actual organization. We need actual group participation. We need commitment from individuals, whether it be $1 a month, $2 a month, $3 a month, $4 a month, $5 a month, $6 a month, $7 a month, $8 a month, all the way up to $50 a month, all the way up to $100 a month, all the way up to whatever you can give a month. Why is it that Rise of the Moors is talking about that, but not the Moorish Science Temple of America? When they claim to have the right and exact knowledge, and the right and exact truth, and the real this and the real that, but none of them have possession over our Prophet's building. Why is it Rise of the Moors is the only organization interested in that? Because that's our Prophet. So, in order for us to achieve anything, there has to be clear set goals, right? So, as an example, I'll bring it back. When I talked about people being able to donate X amount of money a month, right? The problem is we're being taxed to death, just like Prophet Noble Drew Ali said. But if you are involved in an organization that is a social welfare organization that has tax exempt status, and that organization pays you to be a minister, divine minister, to literally uplift fallen humanity, like the brother live and direct on the air, he's always advocating, which is he's participating in his civic duty, teaching and advocating for the release of so many people who are wrongfully incarcerated, or they're given a ridiculously long sentence when they don't deserve that. That is literally a benefit to society. He should be compensated for that. We have the ability to compensate people like him, people like Kush Day, people like Cujo, people like Atazaz. We have the ability and the financial power to literally compensate people like them to do what they're doing. And then in return, they literally dedicate their time and energy to ensure that our situation actually gets better. They don't have to go to no 9 to 5 and struggle financially when we can literally support them because they will be supporting us. We can do that. We can literally do that. Moors were able to raise $8,000 in 24 hours to get me out of jail. We can do that. And then since we're part of an organization and we're providing some type of social security and social welfare to each other, we won't need to opt into the United States federal government Social Security and Medicaid because we have group economics. And they're literal IRS documents that you can file with them to opt out of those things to the point where you get 100% of your paycheck. Why are there no other Moorish organizations talking about these things? When it can literally benefit all of us. And there's literally an IRS document that specifies if your organization has been around since at least 1950, which the Moorish Science Temple of America has been around since 1913, well, officially on paper 1928 when they changed its name, then you can opt out of taxes because you don't need that Social Security from them because you have it from your people. Why are we not doing that? Why are we Moors not doing that? Because the responsibility inevitably ends on us. We are responsible for not doing that. We're responsible for not participating in group economics. We're responsible for not changing our conditions. We're responsible. And I'm here to remind all of us we literally have everything it takes to change our situation. How many Moors are constantly online posting, promoting, talking about, and teaching the truth? So the information is getting out there. There's 100,000, millions of people that know this information. We need to somehow unite those people because we all have common interests. We all have common goals. We all see various problems, and a lot of us are trying to offer solution to those problems, but we just need to unite. We have all these lectures and all these panels and all these panelists, and we're asking all these questions, and they're proposing potentially good solutions, but then we do nothing with that. So again, the responsibility falls on us. What are we doing? We advocate for unity, but no one's giving clear-cut steps on how to unite. Go to riseofthemoors.org and you'll see a possibility on how we can unite and how we could unite and what we could do. If you rock with it, join. If you don't, go somewhere else, and that's fine. Because if Rise of the Moors gets empowered and whatever other organization you go to gets empowered, within the executive rulers of Rise of the Moors and the executive rulers of that organization, we can talk. Okay, now how do we connect now? How do we unite now? Because I'm interested if somehow the Moorish Science Temple of America can unite itself and it's not 3 separate Temple number 1s and there's only one Temple number 1, I'd be more than willing to join the Moorish Science Temple of America. But from my experience, when I went to the people who claimed to be Temple number 1, it was bad. They said, well, we're not going to take you to the Adab Chamber because you associate with Taj Sharif Bey. What does that have to do with anything? And they don't own Prophet Noble Drew Ali's building. Myself, my wife, and Leonidas Jubair Bey went to Chicago, Illinois. We stood right in front of Prophet Noble Drew Ali's building, and we seen Europeans walking in and out. It doesn't say Prophet Noble Drew Ali anywhere on the building. So, and I went to Temple number 1 myself. I seen the charter on the wall. I seen it. I said, why does that signature of Prophet Noble Drew Ali, why is it in red ink, number 1? And number 2, why does it look like it was copied and pasted on there and it's printed? Because you know, like when you write a pen on a piece of paper, the ball of the pen indents on the paper. None of that was present. I said, hey, can I take a picture of this charter? They said no. Why? If it's Prophet Noble Drew Ali's charter, why can't I take a picture of it? Because if you go to City Hall in the city you live in right now, every city has a charter, and you ask for a certified copy of that charter or a picture of that charter, they're going to give it to you no problem. You might have to pay $2, $4, or notes because it's not money. You might have to pay 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 notes for the seal, but they're going to give it to you. And this is information that all Moorish Americans need to have. This is not an attempt to slander any of the Temple number 1s. This is just observing facts and acknowledging a situation that shouldn't exist. There should only be one Temple number 1, not 3 of them. There should be only one Supreme Grand Sheikh, not 3 of them. And then if there's 3 of them, how do you know if you have a legitimate charter? Who's signing that charter? Right? So, and not to focus too much on the negative, right? Back to the positive. We literally have everything it takes to change these conditions. If you have a problem with that, then the people need to be addressing the leaders of the Moorish Science Temple of America and saying, why don't we have our prophet's building? Why can't I go there and stood where my prophet stood? I'm pretty sure I'd feel some type of energy because my prophet stood here. I'm pretty sure if he said this is going to be our Chicago, then that must be a holy site. Just like the Arabs can go to the Muhammad Mosque, I want to go to Prophet Noble Drew Ali's building and see where my prophet sat and see where my prophet stood and see his office. Why isn't that a Moorish museum? Prophet, this is where, you know, the picture of Prophet Noble Drew Ali where he's sitting at his desk with his wife and the safe and the flags in the windows. Why isn't that a holy site? Our prophet sat here, preserved. One of his little mustache hairs is probably on the floor somewhere. I would love to go there as a Moor. Say, wow, my prophet stood here. In fact, if you go there, there's a pole on the sidewalk, right in the, it's like obstructing the stairway down. That wasn't there in the picture with Prophet Noble Drew Ali. But when you go there, there's a whole lamp. It's like the street light thing. Why is that there? Who put that there? Because that's probably where Noble Drew Ali stood, his exact footprints, and they covered it up with a lamp. Why are we allowing these things? That's our prophet's property. Our prophet's building is literally listed as a historical landmark, which means they can never destroy it. Yet our prophet's name is not even on it. And what did Prophet Noble Drew Ali? Be careful, Moors. In 50 years, you wouldn't even know I was here. That's how they try to erase him. Look it up. Google search 3140 Indiana Avenue. 3140 S South Indiana Avenue, Chicago, Illinois, Unity Hall. Google it. They'll mention Oscar the Priest. They'll mention Oscar the Priest, but they won't mention Prophet Noble Drew Ali when there's a picture of Prophet Noble Drew Ali right in the middle in that building with Louis B. Anderson, the alderman of Chicago on the south for the South Side, and Oscar the Priest, who was a Republican congressman for the Moors. Yet Prophet Noble Drew Ali's name is not mentioned. And it says Jewish Social Club on it. It doesn't say Moorish Science Temple of America. It doesn't say Unity Hall, headquarters of the Moorish Science Temple of America. It doesn't say that. Yet, Mayor Rahm Emanuel acknowledged that Moorish Americans are Aboriginal and Indigenous to North, South, Central America in the city of Chicago. That acknowledgement was done. That was declared. That was proclaimed. Yet Moors still don't own that building. I haven't even heard any Moors from the Moorish Science Temple of America or any Moors claim to be Temple Number 1 address that topic. Why do we not have our prophet's building? Because if we had our prophet's building, then the value, the assets of the Moorish Science Temple of America will just go up. Because it owns property. And when you look at different types of tax-exempt organizations that hold title to property and collect rent for those properties are tax-exempt. And this is why Prophet Noble Drew Ali said, if you're going to buy property, put it in my name or the name of the Moorish Science Temple of America. And when any corporation values its or assesses its value, the amount of property it owns gets calculated into that. To the point where Moors could have had their own Moorish coin backed by the physical assets of the Moorish Science Temple of America, and Moors could have had an even flourishing economy, an even better economy. We literally have everything it takes to save ourselves. We literally have it. Why don't we own any of the Prophet's property? Because we as Moorish Americans are not holding those who claim to be part of the Moorish Science Temple of America responsible in their fiduciary duties, their duties as trustees in maintaining the organization, which includes holding on to its assets. That's why we don't own it. It's our responsibility. Notice how I'm not pointing the fingers at nobody. It's our responsibility. If the Moorish Science Temple of America and its members and its officials don't want to do that, then my interest, years in the future, if we can get Moors to participate, to join, to dedicate their time, their assets, their energy into the rise of the Moors, into paying dues and supporting, whether it's $50, $1, $2, $3, then years in the future, I'd be more than interested in buying that property back. That's our Prophet's building. We shouldn't even have to buy it back. We should say, hey, this is our Prophet's building. It's part of our religious holy sites. Give that to us. You have no rights of claim over that. We need that. And the only way for that to happen is if Moors are aware that that's the status of our Prophet's building. And I went there late 2018. It was either 18, yeah, I'm pretty sure it was 18. Yeah, it had to be 18. Physically stood there myself. And there's like a key card access. You got it like in a hotel room or like a hotel building. You have to scan the card to get in. You can't even get in as a Moor. There's not even Moors there greeting you. It's Europeans walking in and out because that's where they live. And the property is huge. Let me see if I can pull it up on my phone. It's magnificent. Look, it pops up automatically. That's crazy. It's beautiful. It's huge. It's huge, man. You as a Moor need to know about this building and about your prophet. Unity Hall. The property is huge. Look, let me see. The property goes all the way down to the next street, and there's a huge parking lot. That's the pole I'm talking about. Our prophet stood right in front of this building, and his name's not even. You see there's two plaques. The plaque on the right is the address, and the plaque on the left is indicating that it's a historical landmark, which means it cannot be destroyed. And it talks about how it was a Jewish social club, but it does not mention Prophet Noble Drew Ali once. And that gets me upset. Well, let me see if the property value's on here. It says built in 2015. That's a lie. But it says 21 units. It's a 21 unit property. So when I threw out the estimate that, probably 20 Moors can live in there, I was right. Right? I don't think let me see. The property value is not on here. But let me pull up the picture of the prophet in front of the building so you can see that is his building. That's our prophet's building. Nobody else's. It's not a Jewish social club. It's Prophet Noble Drew Ali's building. And it really upsets me that Moors, even if there's 3 different Moor Science Temple of Americas claiming to be temple number 1, even if that's the case, one of them should have possession of this property. See, there's no pole standing in the way. It's just the Moor standing there. Look, 1928. So the property was not built in 2015. All right. Then you go back to the building. Look, that's the building. That's the same building. (1928). Why does this say built in 2015? The building literally extends to the next block. Look, apartments. It's literally being used as European apartments. It's not benefiting Moors. Go to Chicago yourself. Go to Chicago yourself and you will see Europeans walking in and out of that building because that's where they live. Not Moors. And it's our prophet's building. Look, you don't believe that is European apartments? Okay, look. Our prophet's building. Our prophet, and look. They turned it into apartments. Our prophet's building is being used as apartments, which do not benefit us. These are the properties. And this is why Prophet Noble Drew Ali said, "Be careful, Moors. In 50 years, you wouldn't even know that I was here, because there were traders within the Moor Science Temple of America that lost possession of this property and or gave it up." Now, mind you, there were Moors that physically fought to try to keep this property. This is our prophet's building. Look. Our prophet's building, man. Our prophet. He had 3,000 Moors in Chicago alone. 3,000 Moors in Chicago alone? Mind you, this is only one of the apartments for rent. It's 21 units. 21 units? 21 units. They're only showing you 1 4-bedroom, 2-bathroom part. The only way to find more about this property is if we ask brothers like Kush Day, who live in Chicago, to go to City Hall and inquire about how did this property get out of the hands of the Moors. That would be listed at City Hall, the Recorder of Deeds. Why don't Moors own this? Why aren't we renting it out to other Moors if it's going to be rented out? And or why isn't it just reverted back to for purposes of the Moor Science Temple of America? This picture was taken in that building where our prophet sat, stood, talked, taught. This picture right here is in that building. Why don't we have this room preserved like this? So that way Moors can visit. Our prophet once sat here. That's honoring our mothers and fathers by preserving this. Look at our Muslim brothers over in Saudi Arabia. They preserve Mecca. They keep it clean. They keep it clean. Daily they clean that place. They keep it preserved, well preserved. That's what Prophet Abraham prayed for. Why aren't we doing the same with where our prophet sat? They have it to the point where Prophet Abraham's footprints, which is estimated 1850 BC, are preserved in Mecca. Yet, us Moorish Americans who claim to honor our prophet don't even have physical possession of his building. His building. We need to do better. Please, let's do better. Because we have the power, we have the capability, we have the strength, we have the unity to do so. We absolutely do. We can't keep saying we lack knowledge of self when we don't. How many brothers and sisters do you follow online that's constantly and consistently putting out knowledge of self, information on knowledge of self? We have it. This Instagram page has 3,000 followers. That's 3,000 Moors. Not everybody's a Moor, but that's 3,000 people that could be participating in something that's going to benefit Moors. Look. This picture is Prophet Noble Drew in the middle. That's Oscar the Priest to the right, and that's Lewis B. Anderson to the left. And this is at Unity Hall. This was not built in 2015. Oscar the Priest was a Republican for the Moors in the state of Illinois. Lewis B. Anderson was an alderman for the city of Chicago, which is a councilman. And of course, the prophet. And remember, Prophet Noble Drew Ali said all members must declare their nationality. So if they're sitting inches away from our prophet, best believe they were nationality card holding Moors. They weren't black politicians, they were Moors. Well, if they're Moors and we're not U.S. citizens, how are they in office? Well, when you read the rights of indigenous people, it clearly specifies that that Aboriginal and indigenous people of all lands have the right to elect and select who they want to represent them in the state government. Come on, man. Look. Let's Google search Oscar the Priest. Oscar Scanton the Priest, I believe. Oscar S. the Priest. Stanton, I was close. Oscar, let me spell his name. And you could also look up Jesse Binga, which you'll see pictures of Prophet Noble Drew Ali. You'll see state addresses by Louis B. Anderson, Oscar the Priest, speech by Jesse Binga. Jesse Binga was the owner of Binga Bank, which was supported by Moorish Americans. Moors had their own banks. They had Prophet Noble Drew Ali's building. They had banks. They had a representative within Congress. They had a representative within City Hall. They had factories. Where's all of that stuff at? Look. Oscar the Priest, U.S. House of Representatives. Congress in 1929 to 1931. Look. Let's look. That's him. That's him sitting right next to our prophet. Too bad the camera sucks. But that's him. And that's Prophet Noble Drew Ali right next to him. Our prophet. Boom. Right there. With his hand over his heart. Showing you he's leading with truth. He's leading with integrity. He's leading with his heart. He's being honest. That's Oscar the Priest. Right there. Now let's look up Louis B. Anderson. Louis B. Anderson. Notice how it says he was an American politician, not a black politician. I'll say it one more time. Notice how it says he's an American politician, not a black politician. All right, let's see if we can find any good pictures. I think these are the only two pictures of him. Matter of fact, we'll do this. Look. Because Prophet Noble Drew Ali put in a newspaper, elect Louis B. Anderson. Because what happened was, Oscar Stanton the Priest was the alderman in Chicago. And then they wanted to put him in Congress, so they needed to replace someone as an alderman. So that's when they elected Louis B. Anderson. Why isn't the Moorish Science Temple of America telling you this? And this isn't against any members. This is I'm asking you to encourage them to talk more about this stuff. Oh, right here, look. The Moorish Guide. It's blurry, but you'll see. The Moorish Guide. Elect Anderson. And there was a picture of Louis B. Anderson right there. And when you read the rights of indigenous people, you'll see where it says we have the ability to do just that. Prophet Noble Drew Ali was our head of state, and then we had our delegates within the United States government representing us within their government. Read the rights of indigenous people, and you'll see just that. Let's see if I can find a better picture than that, because it was very blurry. But a few years ago, 2-3 years ago, there were way more pictures of newspaper clippings about Prophet Noble Drew Ali, and way more pictures about Prophet Noble Drew Ali without Moors writing stuff on it. Way more pictures existed. Let me see if I can find a better picture. All right, that might be a little better. Look, what was that saying? I can't even read. I know it says February 1st, 1919, maybe? The Moorish Guide, Moorish Science Temple of America, Prophet Noble Drew Ali, from the 1900s. Elect Anderson, Prophet Noble Drew Ali. So there's Louis B. Anderson, Oscar the Priest, and Prophet Noble Drew Ali. There's Louis B. Anderson, Oscar the Priest, Prophet Noble Drew Ali. And here's the building that they were in. Why don't we own it? When we're able to raise $8,000 for one Moorish American to get out of jail, we can get that property back. please visit risingofmoors.org. You'll see everything laid out. Not everything, obviously not everything, but there's some laws and stuff part of the organization that I'm working on. But I need more people. I need help. I can't claim the building by myself. I can't afford that building by myself. But if you're able to raise $8,000 in 24 hours, and if we can do that once a year, once every 2 years, once every 3 years, eventually we can get our Prophets building back. If you can donate one note a month, that's one note closer to us getting our Prophets building back. If you can donate one note a month, that's one note a month closer to us being able to pay Cujo to dedicate his time and energy to teaching. That's one note closer to us being able to pay Kush Day so that way he can dedicate his energy to uplifting our nation. That's one note a day closer, or a month closer, that we get to being able to pay our brother Atazaz so that way he don't have to work if he works, if he doesn't work for himself, so that way he can dedicate all his time to uplifting our people. And all these people could be charged with focusing on alleviating our problems, whether it be coming up with solutions and proposing those solutions, whether it be establishing committees, and each committee is charged with something specific, a specific task where they have to actually yield results in a certain amount of time, whether it be a quarter, 2 quarters, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years. These things need to happen. And we have to be the ones guiding this or leading this. I know Allah's leading and victory is sure, but guess what? Allah helps those who help themselves. So once we start helping ourselves, then we'll see how Allah is truly leading. But we have to take action. We can't just keep sitting back. We can't just keep parroting the same information without any practical goals set. To my knowledge, my website is the only website showing where we can step by step where we can achieve actual goals. And this isn't against anybody. Because again, like I said, I have the goal of uniting with as many Moors as possible, because that's the only way we're going to get out of this situation. Whether it's different Moorish organizations or different Moorish individuals. Either way, we still need each other. Let's make a change, because we have the ability to do it. We can literally pick ourselves up and do this. We literally can. There's nothing stopping us. There's nothing stopping us. There's nothing stopping us. The only thing that's stopping us is us. Let's stop stopping ourselves. Fear is an illusion. Fear who? For what? For what? Let's make change. Peace, Moors.